Hey, Tyler here again. Today we're going to take a look at the keypad on the Ouroboros sequencer. So for the purposes of this demo, we're going to be taking a look at this right section, the multi-mode keypad. The modes on the keypad can be changed with the 4 action buttons here. For this video, we'll take a look at these first 3. The pattern and scene action button we'll take a look at in the sequencer demo. So the main functional button that the main mode, that you'll use most of the time is going to be this keypad mode. It's where you can actually play your instrument. It'll change a little bit depending on the modes that you're in, but it'll clearly change shape. So you can see as we go here, you'll get different functionality, and we'll cover that in later videos. But when it's tied to the sequencer, here's how you can use it to play. So in general, it'll play all of the notes in the scale from the 0th octave, from note 0 to note 127, covering the entire range. The scales are defined up here and can be selected by the user, but we'll go over that in a later video. So really, it's pretty basic at the start. Play a note, hear the note played, see the notes that you just played presented in the visual over here, which is your active note area. This gives all the information that you need to know to understand what's going to happen when you press a trig, like what notes are going to be added and what will their values be. Now, there's a lot more to this keypad than just that. This is if you want to play single notes. If you swipe up and down, you can change the octave. But if you tap here, you can select a variety of chord modes to help play multiple notes with just a single thumb, which is most of the time all we have available while we're holding an iPhone. The chord mode is the simplest. It plays a triad, a 1, 3, 5, based on your current scale and root key. The next one is the advanced chord mode. It's very similar to the triad, except for the fact that you have these 4 banks up here. Each of those banks allow you to program a different style of chord. Right now I have a triad, you can see here, 1, 3, 5, a 7th in the second bank, a 1, 3, 5, 7. I have a 1, 2, 6, and a 1, 4, 6. So each of these are different chord types, and select the bank, play a note, and you'll get the respective chord in that key with that root note. Pretty simple. You can change the type of chords and the amount of notes that are in it as you want by holding down the bank and selecting the notes from the trigs. The final chord mode that you have available is the reference chord. This one is fundamentally different than the other 2. Whereas the other 2 specifically add the exact notes that you selected to the sequence and play them, the reference chord mode instead adds a callback to one of these 8 blocks down here. These blocks can be set up with any variety of 8 MIDI notes. So you can see if I hold down, one sec, turn that off. If I hold down, you'll see a similar screen pop up. But instead of just one row of available notes, you have multiple octaves, because the value of what's being played doesn't change by a key. It's just a blank chord. What's special about this mode is that these 8 blocks are consistent and available across all 16 tracks, all patterns, and all scenes, meaning that you can change one chord, you can change the chord at this point, or whatever notes are contained in this block, and they'll change everywhere in the entire song. This presents a lot of powerful functionality. It'll help hopefully reduce the workload and allow you to kind of start thinking in, well, you know what? I don't want to tell you how to think. I found this to be a really powerful mode, and I hope you do too. So those are the basics. You have Latch. I'm not going to cover that. You can figure that one out yourself. But those are like some of the basic unique functionalities related to playing notes with the keypad. Now, the other 2 modes that I'm going to cover are this transformation mode down here. Pressing this button will provide provides a variety of extra features and functionality that you can use to, change or set up the current mode that you're playing in. You can see that if I change to a tone, if I go to the art mode or the scale mode, the transformation multi-mode keypad provides differing range of options for me to change it depending on what the functionality is. So I just encourage you to always check out the transformation mode whenever you're looking for something that you don't see immediately available. And if you need to understand what any of the actual pads do, press the play or press the help button and tap any of them and you'll get a detailed description. The last thing we're going to cover is the looper. So every pattern, every track has a looper available to it. The looper, it can be set to resolutions of a single bar, so it's restricted to 1 to 16 bars. Right now, it's covering only 1 bar because that's the length of the sequence. You can see if I set the sequence to be 16 bars and go back, right now it's playing the entirety of the 16-bar sequence. But press once to set the start of the loop, press again to end the end of the loop. Now I'm just playing bars 3 through 4. You can also play just a single bar. This helps, well, hopefully this will help you manage the length of the sequences. I know 16 bars is a lot, especially compared to like the Digitact and other things that try to, increase usability by decreasing the range of the number of pages you have to deal with. So using this mode is one way of circumventing that hassle. Now, there'll be other places that will touch the keypad, and I'll show you how its functionality changes depending on the other modes. But this will give you enough to get started, especially using it with tonal instruments. In a later video, I'll cover how to use it with drums, and yeah, stay tuned. Thanks, and again, have fun.